your only solution to access securities. That's on Altex. And of course, just dial *29 to hash, and you will be availed with a number of options, and you will select what really works out for you best. Either you want to purchase government securities, you want to purchase bond. Regarding the different period, of course, the bond will be lasting, and the markets open at exactly 8:15. Actually, just about 13 minutes left for the markets to officially open, and they close at 3:15 p.m. They open at 8:15 a.m. and close at 3:15 p.m. That's in the evening, and that's Zab for you right there, for you to be able to purchase securities on Altex. Do something new. And let's get straight into the coffee court. And this time around, we are discussing the real estate industry, how it operates in Uganda. What are the challenges? What does it need for you to really invest in the real estate? I can't explain more regarding that. Coffee Court has more.
Whenever I have an opportunity to speak to experts, I make sure I ask them they had questions, but questions that matter. Welcome to this coffee court where we ask critical questions, especially when we meet technocrats in this field. And this time round, we'll be discussing matters of real estate, mortgaging in Uganda. And of course, I'm joined by one of the experts, the godfather, a practical business investor in this country. That is none other than Mr. Anatoly Kamugisha. And of course, first and foremost, the book I'm holding is called From a Business Strategy to Tragedy. Mr. Kamugisha, it's a pleasure, and thank you for joining me on this coffee court.
Thank you. I want to first correct you on this. The title is called From Business Tragedy to Strategy.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I appreciate the correction.
Thank you.
Who is Mr. Anatoly, briefly?
Mr. Anatoly is a man seated before you. Is a CEO of Arkwright Projects and the founder of Arkwright Projects, and an author of this book. Yes. And
From a business tragedy to strategy.
Yes.
What is it about?
In some ways like this, when you see the picture on this book, you can see there is a big man is having is fighting with a lion, and he has managed to finish the lion. The lion came to finish him. The lion saw this man as, "Today you are my lunch," and the man said, "Today I'm not your lunch. I'm going to finish you, and I'm going to finish all the strengths you have over me." And what he did, the man used it as a strategy to finish this monster. And the strategy he used is that he only identified the strengths of that monster. He said the monster is very strong because of the teeth in the mouth, and plus so what I should do when it comes, I should have my hammer. When it comes, I should hammer the mouse to make sure all the whatever gets out, all the mouse and what becomes blood, as you can see it, that it will be, so I destabilize it from finishing me. After hammering the mouse and whatever, that was the end of the strongest animal, which is called the king of the jungle.
I think I'm going to read this book further.
Yes,
Let's also now hammer the real estate sector in Uganda.
Yes.
You're one of the godfathers. Why did you take time to invest in this sector?
Well, the sector, first of all, as a pioneer, was a very difficult sector because it was a virgin, and it had nothing like resources that would make it become easy. Take an example: real estate cannot prosper when there is no mortgage financing, when there is no construction financing. But by the time we started in 1999, there was nothing in Uganda banks having a construction funding.
Where did you develop the idea, Dr. Anatoly?
The idea came from passion. One, I had a passion of seeing organized things, and I started as a contractor, just building houses for other people. But now these people are building in slums, and I would hate seeing such a kind of houses built, good houses built in places that are disorganized. Then I said, out of this, can somebody organize, get land, and make houses that are in a planned setup? And it's along those thinking that when I decided now to leave construction as a business, and started what we call real estate, buying land and build on my own land, not being hired by someone to build a house in his own place, but in a slum. I hated that one. And it is out of that started thinking around getting the land, building houses according to my taste, according to my plans, according to whatever, but in an organized setup. And it is out of that business came up, and now it's history.
You've talked about strategy, you've talked about development, you've talked about planning.
Yes.
Of course, you can't, in this area, you can't fail to talk about COVID as a pandemic.
Yes.
How did this affect your sector as a godfather?
The problem was that during the COVID time, the sector has been was somehow affected because there would be buyers who wouldn't be qualified to buy the homes.
And what happened to them?
Because the buyers, some of them were laid off, some of them were not earning any money, and therefore the effective demand was not there. You know, the business is all about effective demand.
Okay.
How people get money and they look at something and are able to purchase it. So, but you can like something, but when you don't have the money, that's not effective demand. So effective demand is just the product is there, but also there is somebody interested in it, and also who has the means to purchase it. So the COVID affected real estate because there was less effective demand.
But they talk to us about the purchasing power. How many people purchase and invest in this sector?
I mean, generally, when you look at Uganda, we are totally different from these other countries. Uganda is that we have a culture of everyone building house for himself. So people buy their own plots and they want to build it for themselves. But if you go into real estate, where there is a professional developer, there is a professional financier in terms of mortgage and construction funding, there is a professional consumer or effective consumer, then that's how the real estate works out very well. Not everybody, a consumer shouldn't be then a developer, then a developer shouldn't be the financier. There must be somebody specialized in development, another one specializing in financing, another one specializing in consuming the product and paying for a long time what we call a mortgage. Because the consumer shouldn't be able to buy a product with cash at once. That kind of purchase is not healthy, or is not. How do you get all that money to go to buy a property?
I actually thought specialization ends on matters of medical. You have this doctor, you have this and that and that.
Yes.
Did you receive any package as a refund for COVID-19? The business community got. Did you?
No.
As experts in the real estate sector?
I didn't see such a kind of money, and I am sure I don't complain, because I know money was concentrated in medical, and was rescuing people from. So me as a real estate developer, how could I have complained when there was already a need? It was already a place which I saw all the money was supposed to be.
So how did you manage the impacts?
Well, by the way, real estate, we are not so much affected. We as the developers.
Maybe you as not Anatole.
I am saying we as the developers, not Anatole, but we as the developers. Ask why. Because when they were making a lockdown, they never locked out construction. They said, please remain at the site, remain building, remain whatever. So it was very easy for us.
But your customers were locked down.
Yeah, the customers were locked.
I don't know if you are aware.
The customers were locked, but I'm saying in terms of production for houses, for us we were not affected. It was only on the side of the consumption that we were affected. But that one is not a big deal, because the first important is we continue to produce the homes. We continue to produce. For me, I didn't have much, by the way, during COVID, because by that time I was still in my arrangement of because all along I was in how do you call it? I was in recession. I was not doing so much real estate because I had stopped a bit.
Okay.
because of some issues that was related to URA, some issues related to the banks. I was heavily indebted with banks.
So are you back on track now?
Yes, I'm now back on track. I'm bouncing. I am very, very ready to kick anything and whatever.
Good enough now that you're bouncing back on
Yes,
track.
yes.
You've heard of issues of mortgaging.
Yes.
Do you think Ugandans have understood this concept?
Not yet, because some people are still having what we call a mortgage phobia. They say, oh, if I get the mortgage, then the bank will take away my property. And that is negative thinking. And so there is a need to have a sensitization to the public. A few people who have
Maybe even before the sensitization, what is this mortgaging anyway? Because we don't understand it, because you the people in the sector maybe have not done enough to teach us these things. Doctor.
A mortgage is a package in which a consumer pays little money on a property and is given a long time to keep on paying the bank while he's utilizing his product.
400 and 500 million, is that really
But
little money?
I'm saying that if you are buying a house of 500 million, the banker will say pay 10%. 10% of 500, that means 50 million. Now, if you pay 50 million, you are sleeping in a house of 500 million, but I'm saying you will keep on paying maybe for a period of 10 years, and then at the end of the day, property bureau becomes yours.
How many are investing in this mortgaging, really? And how many customers do you have in a Ugandan setting?
In Uganda, more especially the working class, all of them should qualify. Actually, they do qualify, except that the packaging or the kind of a product they all qualify, but what is the problem is that at times those who qualify, certain products which qualify them are not yet produced on the market. Take an example. In Uganda, we haven't reached the point where we are having what we call affordable homes. We call them low-cost houses, but I don't believe in the word low-cost. I believe in what we call affordable.
And what is affordable to you?
Affordable is that product that is produced, that is a basic, that can be able to work as shelter, but in an organized, or which is a standard product that can create as shelter, but which is affordable. Take an example. You can stay in a house which doesn't have floor tiles. It can be direct screed. Does it stop you from having a house? But if the tiles are not there, does not stop you from having solving a problem of shelter. Point number two: instead of having toilet or bathtubs or what, you can have a shower. Then instead of having these toilet seat, you can have there is how you compromise small things. But at the end of the day, you find painting. You can main it as it is without painting. But when the walls is smartly or whatever done, at the end of the day, you find a house which would have been like 100 million. If you compromise it that way, it will be like about 50 million, and you are able to buy it.
Maybe I've read reports of Habitat for Humanity, one of the organizations that invests in such sector. They're saying it will take us 10 years to get to a point of affordable housing in Uganda. What do you think, as a godfather, as an expert, as an initiator of this sector?
No, it can't take us all those years to reach there. Even now we can have, for instance, like for me now, the direction I'm taking is just low-cost houses and nothing more. Because the other time I was doing what we call horizontal developments, luxurious homes, luxurious whatever, that kind of class. But now I am having a different strategy. That's why you see from a tragedy to strategy. Strategy is the word strategy.
This is also journey. It's not
it's not
an event.
It's a process. This is a direction. It tells you which direction. This is my understanding, or this is my mindset. That the word negativity and impossibility is for yesterday.
It is not for 2022.
Just listen properly. Negativity and impossibility is for yesterday. But the positivity and the possibility is for today and tomorrow. That means, for me, I am a very hopeful person that everything possible can be possible.
You've talked about the horizontal construction.
Yes.
No Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development has this already in plan. Do you think we can really attain that strategy of horizontal construction?
No, not horizontal. We have been doing horizontal.
No,
now we want to do vertical. Yes. So now,
That's achievable.
yes, achievable. That's the best way. In the whole world, that's what they do. Meaning that if you want to have anything called affordable home, you don't talk about vertical development, then you are lying.
With all the issues of land.
Yes, but see, when you do vertical development, you are making one plot serving about 20 people. That means then you are making it very affordable, because you are sharing all the costs and dividing by the kind of consumers. Then the house becomes cheaper, becomes affordable.
As an expert, I want to invest in this sector.
Yes.
Advise me on how much I should start with.
To invest as investor,
millions, whichever the case. Advise me as a.
Okay. What I can do is that if you want to enter the industry as a developer, is different from when you enter this industry as a service provider, like an agent, like a manager.
How different?
Now, they are different. The developer is a capital intensive. An agent or a service provider, like a manager or a property manager, what you don't need a lot. You just have an office, have the staff, have the books to write, the properties you want to manage, and also make a strategy of how you can manage and the customers who are renting those properties and whatever, and that's it, nothing more. So with that money you can come in real estate as a manager, as an agent. That one is okay and very cheap. But as a developer, it's a capital intensive. You need, first of all, you need to be having you need to come when you are prepared, because there are so many things to do. To buy land, to plan for it, to pay for the technocrats who are going to do this, engineers, surveyors, all that kind of stuff. Then plus building, then plus marketing, then plus selling. So all those things. So as a developer, is a capital intensive. That's the difference. The developer, an agent, a manager. Those are people who are totally different.
You've heard of issues of landlord and tenants.
Yes.
It's not a bill, it's now a law.
It's a law.
You've heard of it.
Yes.
Will it solve issues of landlords and tenants as an expert in this area?
Well, it is, I think the law is okay, because it is favoring the one who is producing
it is
the
favoring
housing.
you.
It's
not favoring
not favoring me as a doctor. It is favoring the one who is producing, the one who is carrying on a burden. The consumer comes, find the house which is there, he stays in it and says, I'm unable to pay and I can't pay and I need to be given 3 months for me to prepare. Mind you, for you to produce a house, you need to borrow money from the bank, you need to do this and that. Now after doing all those things, somebody is just fooling around you. He's supposed to pay you the money. Why are you failing to pay? If after failing to pay, go, leave. Don't disturb the landlord. The landlord has borrowed money.
But doctor, you're talking about a category of Ugandans that are different. So the law is meant to safeguard those people like you, and even us, the who are just starting.
But how is it affecting the personal consumer? Because they are saying, you consumer, you have a right to go into this man's house, who produced this house by borrowing money from the bank, and he's supposed to pay monthly. Now he wants you to, when you enter, you keep on giving him the money so that he can be able to service the bank. But now when you come, you stay in his house, and after that you fail to pay. Now you want to, even 3 months, so that you don't pay. So it means he also fails to pay the bank. At the end of the day, the bank will come and take up the property. Do you think is that fair?
So what do we do? What do we do?
You as a consumer, if you find you don't have the money to pay, tell the landlord that, I have failed to pay, but I think this is an assured deal that after 3 months, I'm going to have the money. Negotiate. So that the landlord takes that message to this bank and tell the banker, my client for 3 months is not going to pay because he has a problem. Allow me that also you give me some, allow me that within 3 months is when I will start paying, because that's when my client is paying. That becomes an understanding. But if you stubbornly say, I'm not going to pay, I'm entitled for 3 months to be in this house until I decide, until I get where to go, And you allow the man who borrowed the money, who had put this property to suffer. That's not fair.
So I like the fact that you're saying we need to engage and see how we work it out together. Has government helped you as real estate investors in this country?
Yes, government has helped us.
Sure.
Yes.
How?
Take an example, like us upright, they gave us, government supported us.
You're talking for the entire sector, Doctor.
The government, by the time we started real estate, the government had not put, how do you call it, a master physical development plan in. But now, it is master physical development plan has already been become a policy. So master physical development all over in towns and also up country, they are going to be done. That's also point number two. They have now put all the titles and digitize them into the computer system, so that now you can go and place and know whatever is happening. Point number three, the government has passed many laws in
Which
supporting
laws are you talking about,
housing. I mean, like housing, the law for the housing. Those laws are going to are supporting us, like this one, who tenants and the land. All those. Point number two, the government has said that maybe I'll give you a clip where the president directed that now, when anybody who is doing real estate, the government should support him to have the services of water, power, and infrastructure. And indeed, the government, as far as you are concerned here, the government has given us the road from the main road to here. This Tamaka you see here was done by government.
So government's contribution is quite overwhelming.
On infrastructure, water, and power. They are doing, maybe not all, it has not gone very fast, but it is in the system now. And I'm sure 5 years from today, the whole thing will be, everyone will be accessing such a kind of service. If you come as a developer, the government will be able to give you those kind of services.
Well, 5 years from today, we expect the sector to be performing
very well. Yeah.
We must be leaving this place at all.
Yes, thank you.
Well, how would you wind up this interview?
However, the interview, I want to say that now the real estate developers, it's better we start looking at building houses that are affordable to the local, to the community. And we also want to say that let the employers support their employees, since they have income, to make sure they team up with the developers, to make sure they should rescue them from being choked with rentals, to keep on renting houses all the time. They are chased away. Let them support them by their employees getting mortgages and also buying their own homes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Anatoli, thank you for sparing time and allowing us to speak to you on this very important subject.
Thank you.
Of course, if there are people you can never doubt, experts. That is it from the real estate sector. I've been speaking to Dr. Anatoli Kamgisha, the godfather and an expert that have invested a lot in this sector. This is the Coffee Court, Smart 24 TV. My name is Fred Makuya. We drive your business.
Very interesting insight right there from, of course, Fred Makuya regarding that's the real estate business. As we know, it's a highly capital-intensive business, and of course, quite more prospects are being put in place to ensure that it boasts in Uganda. Not so many actually people really would prefer to invest in there due to the fear of the too much capital that is required regarding that particular aspect. And at this very time around, we're going to get into a short commercial break, and I'm going to be returning with a guest. Of course, it's a topic of discussion. We shall be discussing the business in visual communications, and of course, we shall get to find out more about that. He's an expert. He's going to take us through what it takes to be a perfect visual effects designer within Uganda. Good morning. Stick around.